to ask?
Sherry does. Sherry's got big questions.
What you got, Sherry?
No, I'm just wondering when this head cold will go away.
Anybody got any advice for Sherry on her head cold? Sherry and I got together the other day. She's been building out a funnel for 55 plus communities. So we've been working on that. She's here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually
Awesome.
love that. I love that webinar yesterday with the probate stuff and all that, because that kind of, goes together with some of the stuff that I'm doing for 55 and up or older generation like me.
Yeah.
So that was a good webinar. Thank you.
It was really good.
So
Michael,
Sherry,
I didn't know that he was the guy that had trained you, right, Michael?
Yeah, so Aaron and I, we both came from the Mike Ferry School of Teaching, and then I discovered Aaron again on some other podcasts and some role play things we were tapping into, and loved his coaching style. And we coached for 2.5 years, and I'd been doing probates probably since 2014, and I knew he did a lot of them. So a lot of our coaching was about, okay, how do you do this? How do I do this? And a lot of sharing of ideas. But he's got a great system as well. And I know Sandra took a lot of what did you find out this she went to the courthouse this morning. She took action. Tell us how that went and what you found out from there.
Yeah.
Where I live, there is and it might be this in every county, but in the 2 counties that I live, there was just so much information. I walk across the street, and the probate attorney that handles closings that I'm good friends with, or all of his staff, they said, oh, then maybe the easiest thing is to print out the public notices. And she said she gets letters, she passes them on. And then, thank you for that seminar. I said, do you want me to do the letter and send it to you? Or can I just give you my card, and Michael, I'll make a probate card.
Mm-hmm.
But already just walking back across the street and saying, why am I not, I'm getting 50 pages of information. I'm looking for addresses. What's the secret? And they said, in our county, the secret is printing out public notices. And I had to leave the seminar yesterday for the last 15 minutes. That may have been a secret that they spoke about, but in our 2 counties, evidently that's published, and I can print it out and go online, and it has the executors, the address, the names, and of course, I don't want to stay on a rabbit trail too long, but I believe now, right, I can send the good letter, my business card, but I also found out that if I keep walking back and forth across the street as a networking item where I'm talking to these probate attorneys, then I could, keep, level up to the point where I have those relationships. So that was worth the time.
Absolutely. And Sherry, I don't know if you were on the call yesterday, and Aaron, I know he doesn't do a lot of mailers to the executors, whatever. I've had success with that in the past, so it's up to the individual and what they want to do. And I was telling Sandra this morning, that's my normal business card. If you can see it, of course, with the information. And what I did was, though, I went to a training. I have a separate business card created that says the probate agent, the probate specialist on there. These people are getting a ton of mailers from investors and whatever, and also other agents that call themselves the real estate specialist. So if they had 4 or 5 cards sitting on the table from these letters they're receiving, which one do you think is going to stand out when they're looking at those? It's a small thing, I know that, but when it comes time to make decisions, it might be that one little thing that pushes you over the edge to say, yeah, let's give this guy a call. And I'm following up with a phone call anyway after about 3 days of them getting that letter.
Did you go ahead and, that little coaching you gave me on what to say to people? Do you remember? Okay.
Just the script we used yesterday?
You gave me a little bit of coaching that I said to absolutely everyone. And that was, I'm a realtor. I've worked in probate. I've I've buried a couple of parents. I know how it goes.
Oh yeah. So you want to empathize, because a lot of people are, you make it personal. Say, I totally understand. I've unfortunately lost 3 parents as well. So I know exactly where you are. And I was just calling to see if you and or the estate may have a need to sell this property anytime in the future.
And I used that when I was talking to the probate lawyer and his staff. So they knew I wasn't standing there trying to be huckster realtor, give me your business. Like, I'm sure you're already working with people, but I know how this goes. I've been through it, and I want to do what I can to help your people.
And what I was telling Sandra, what spurred me on is I was in Mike Ferry. There was a guy, his name's Michael Young. He's a realtor in San Francisco. And he was up on stage talking about his experience. And he went directly to the attorneys and created a business around that. And I kind of paid him to give me his outline of that, where he would just line up. He had probably 80 to 90 estate attorneys in the in the San Francisco area that he would take donuts to, that he would, get in there with. But then he became the referral agent for all these attorneys. So could you imagine not even having to make expired calls or cancels, but every month 3 or 4 calls come in from these attorneys saying, oh yeah, Michael Higdon or Michael Young or Sherry, they're going to be the one that's going to handle this for you. And he did that by taking them to lunch, showing his value, creating value for the attorney. Like Aaron was talking about yesterday, how can I be the go-to realtor for you? Get a list of them. Some of them are going to tell you to take a hike. Some of them are going to tell you, no, I've already got a realtor we work with. Perfect. Can I be the second one you refer to? Because that person may not be around all the time. And then the third of them are going to say, yeah, let's go get lunch and tell me what kind of value, and then do what Aaron was saying. Well, I help them get boxes. I help them set up charities. I help them empty the house. Oh yeah. And ultimately, if they need a CMA or something done, I'll go over there and advise them on what the property may or may not be worth.
Good. How many deals are you doing a year, Michael, right now? Probate.
I'd say on average from estates, anywhere from 12 to 20.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So if your average sale price is 350,000, that's $10,000 a deal. That's if you do 10 deals from that, that's an extra $100,000.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? Is there some work to it? Yeah, there's work to it, but what else are you going to do? You're going to call expires in a dwindling market that's not there anymore. You're going to call for sell by owners. They're out there, and not a lot of agents are calling them because they're afraid. They don't know what to say. They don't want to get hung up on. They don't want to get bit. They don't want to get called an ambulance chaser. They don't want to seem non-empathetic to somebody that may or may not have passed away.
One of the things he said yesterday was how, these people are getting bombarded by the investors. I'll come buy your house. I'll come buy your house, taking these cash offers, whatever. And how he's putting $50,000, $60,000 more in their pocket because they just do it, with him, whatever, with a realtor.
I've got so many stories like that as well. I won't bore you with those, but it's the same thing where I've come in and you're literally the knight in shining armor, where I've had investors that said, well, they're offering me 80. I'm like, well, I'll give you 81. And they laugh and joke, and I go in, and I had this one. It was a doctor, and I went in and had this ugly green shag carpet in it. It was an old ranch, the style, and had mustard colored walls, but it was in good shape. Went back and I peeled that carpet back, and it had these pine floors that hadn't seen the light of day in probably 50 years. And I asked the guy, I said, you want to make some more money on this without doing hardly anything? He's like, yeah. I said, let me bring my guy in here. Again, value. You pay him, of course. He'll peel all these carpets back. We put some Murphy oil soap on here. I'm not talking about redoing the whole floors. I'll bring my painter in. We paint these walls a neutral color. He spent about $2,000 doing that. We put it on the market day one for $150,000. He was getting offers for $80,000. We sold it for $160,000 in 4 hours.
Wow.
So $80,000 more than what the investors were giving him by spending $2,000. Do you think he gave me a good referral?
Yeah.
And a good testimonial? Heck
Good
yeah.
review. Yeah. Heck yeah.
So, Michael, are you in with lawyers at this point more, or are
I've
you
got,
doing what he's talking about?
I was mentioning that to Sandra yesterday. Kathy, that I slapped my hand for not going after them as hard as I should have, but I was having great success on just going directly with the personal representative or the executor, whatever you want to call it. So I was kind of like, well, this is working. So I wasn't gonna, rock the boat per se, and I probably avoided that. Do I have attorneys? Yeah, I probably have 6 or 7 attorneys that will send me business. So imagine if I just get off my lazy train here, my ego, and go back to that pool. There's a whole nother system or pool or resource there of attorneys that you could probably go after. And I get that list every month. It's the estate, the decedent, it's the executor that they have listed with their phone number, and then it lists the attorney that's handling all that. And a lot of times it's the same attorney. So I could probably go back and call a database of attorneys and just say, hey, I was calling about the Baker estate. I know that you're handling that. Do you know if they have a go-to realtor that's helping them get that sold? Would you be open to share that information? No, perfect. Hey, listen, I do a lot of work with probates and estates. It's, I've sold over 250 houses in this area in the last 7 to 8 years. Do you need a go-to realtor? Do you have a go-to realtor that you work with to refer business to? Because think about it. If you can help the attorney get that sold faster to help the estate get closed faster, they're going to get sold faster. They're going to get paid faster. So I'm sorry, didn't want to hijack the call or make it about
No.
No, I
I
like
mean,
it.
that's
No, that's
awesome.
good.
Yeah, it's all good.
I just
I mean,
put
it's
your
definitely it's definitely a good niche, and I remember when I very, very first got in real estate so many years back, I was told back then, like, you need to have a niche for yourself, right? Create yourself a niche. And, it's a new realtor is like the first time home buyer scenario, right? That's what typically I think new agents are comfortable with. But I resisted that so much because I felt like I was going to pigeonhole myself. Fast forward, after all my years in real estate experience, it's the best advice somebody can give, I think.
Absolutely. Well, and keep in mind, I get that question all the time from executors. They ask, "Are you an investor?" And I'm like, I can be. I am an investor, yeah. But that's not the hat that I'm wearing right now with you, Mr. Seller. I can come over and tell you what the market value is going to be from a tiered aspect, meaning here's the as is value. If you don't want to do anything to it, just clean it out, make it clean and neat, which is probably going to be less than, let's say we pull that carpet back, do a little bit of loving care to it. And then here's the top tier value of homes that are selling in the area that may have been flipped, or the optimal value. Here's the range. You can decide which flavor of this property you want to have it put out to the market. Or I can take this realtor hat off real quick. I can put my investor cap on and say, Mr. Seller, here's the baseline, but I'm going to be coming in probably 20 to 25% below that value, just because as an investor, you're getting letters like that are saying, I'll give you $80,000 because I have to build my equity into it on the buy. So where do you want me to sit in that pecking order?
Mhm.
And then it's a perfect way. I have picked up properties that I've flipped and that I've held as rentals and gotten really good buys on them. I had one guy say, I don't care what I sell it for, I just need $70,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I give you $70,000 and you leave all the contents in it right now as is, you'll sell it to me for $70,000. He's like, if you write a check right now, I'm like, done. And then flipped it and sold it for 170.
Jeez.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions around I don't know that if everybody was on the training yesterday, but is around probate. Does anybody have any questions at all around that? And if not, any other questions? Like, as we all know, today's the mastermind, like just open collaboration, talking about what you want to talk about.
And with yesterday, just so you guys know, I put your training, Michael, in the chat that you did for us 2-3 years ago. Really, really good. There's that one there. And then the one from yesterday will be posted here this afternoon. It should be up and ready in the next hour or two. So I just wanted to look and see. So we'll have that put on the website. Great training yesterday on probates.
Yeah.
If you weren't there, definitely go back and watch it. Watch it again. You know, I'll have the links that he gave us as well from yesterday. Good stuff. So, any questions at all from yesterday? Anything else or any thoughts that come up? I know some of you guys are brand new in the business. Brad, you know, there's just whatever. I mean, there's a lot you could do with that.
Yeah.
You know, I know we had Michael on a few years ago as the market was, it was still a really hot market, but things were just shifting. We were starting to see the shift a little bit, you know, and I think that's, you know, I mean, again, recession proofing your business. I mean, that business doesn't go away. You know, that business is not dependent on interest rates and fear and the economy and all these other things that, you know, tend to hold people back, you know, and it's such a great service that you can provide as an agent to help this family out that's trying to figure out what to do in a situation like that, you know?
Jeff, it has been a slower push from the investors because, you know, you think about 2008 happened and it took probably 3 or 4 years to have all those REOs available and still people underwater with the houses that they bought. And that lasted for a long time, probably until the early 2019, 20. And then there's been this probably 7, 8 year push from investors just because they've had a lack of properties that they can go invest in that have that equity, or people that there's no short sales, there's no REOs. It's like, well, let's see, where can I go push into that people absolutely have to sell their properties and I might be able to get a good deal that aren't in good a shape. Well, baby boomers that haven't kept their properties up to date. That's the next area.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of questions. I'm just listening, but I just joined EXP and I'm trying to learn all these systems, doing the funnels, the KV core, all these things, kind of a lot, trying to absorb as quickly, but I really do get a lot out of it. So I appreciate the discussion.
For sure. No, it's good stuff. And I just tell everybody, try and put Tuesday, especially Tuesday, put it on your calendar. Just kind of make that a non-negotiable for yourself. If you can, there will be an occasional thing that comes up, maybe a closing or some sort of a thing with a deadline on a contract or whatever. And I get that. But the more you can be at that Tuesday training, especially, and then even to come in here, I just pick up ideas. I'm sitting here just, I got my iPad and I take notes on all this stuff because I do this, these ideas will just pop in your head as we collaborate on these different things. But, Tuesdays are great. So I would put that in there. There's a lot of you guys I've seen on every Tuesday, which is awesome. So anyway, Bashar, I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brad.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I listened to yesterday's Zoom call, and I called a friend of mine who is just moving back to the area, and she has an estate planning business. It's not estate planning, estate sales business.
Mhm.
And it's a long story. I won't bore you with the details, but she's very successful at it. And her husband is a really good contractor, not like big time building homes. He does. So I was like, and then talking to her, she says, "Oh, I just talked to a couple people. I'm going to refer you to them." And her husband says, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, if you need a plumber, I got all those people lined up." So literally with one phone call, now I knew him already, but with one phone call, I feel like I got a lot of boxes checked just with that, for what that's worth.
Yeah.
To maybe to Patty.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
new
awesome.
too, Patty. So,
It's such a flood when you first come into EXP. I mean, for all you guys, Bashar's in the process of joining right now. Bashar, I saw you unmuted yourself. It's good to have you. Just moved your license yesterday.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yep, there you go. He's getting on with Vonda, I think, today, and so we're working on getting him set up. But
We just finished.
oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'll give you a call here when we're done. But welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to
Andrew,
be here.
Sandra, do you have a question?
Well, I wanted to, I said this to Michael yesterday, and that was my experience today. And that it for me personally, it's a lot easier dealing with people who, and working with people and helping people who, as a family, they're coming together to make a decision, and there's an asset to liquidate, and I know they're viewing me if I'm behaving at that level with the right way of handling myself, the same way they are the estate attorney. And I call a lot of buildings on the water. And I've had listings and sales this way where the person I used to speak to didn't answer. And I said, Richard, is this Richard's son? Oh, is Richard okay? Did anything happen to him? I talk to him about every other month. Yeah, our dad died. The funeral's tomorrow at 2:00. We're all here. Oh, well, you probably already met with the attorney. Would you like me to come this afternoon or tomorrow after the funeral? And because I know they're already wanting to get their affairs in order, that couple met with me after the funeral when they came back to the home. So for me personally, if I were starting out, I would always prefer to work with somebody who really they're so genuinely kind to me. And I don't necessarily get that with the first time home buyer. I'm kind of helping manage their mania. So if I were anywhere in the United States with what we're saying with boomers, and this is going to be a 10-year run, it seems to me like it also makes me feel really good doing it as well. And it is the opposite of what somebody would think. They just love having somebody who's sensitive to the moment and can be there right away, because it is top of mind. What are we going to do with this property? I just wanted to add that because that's Michael's experience and that's my experience with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, when you start, not to stay on probates the whole time, but you do deal with more than one executive. You deal with all the heirs as well. And if they're local and you do a good job for them, you want to pivot to talk about building out your database. That's an accelerated way to build out your database, because you're dealing with multiple people and say, hey, listen, since I did a good job with selling your mom and dad's house, you're going to be hearing from me on a consistent basis. How can I help you when it comes time to sell yours? So I've now had full circle tons of brothers and sisters, and hey, you sold mom's house, you sold dad's house. Can you help me with mine? So if you're not adding them to your database, then you're just, then don't do that.
Definitely. What else is going on? Who else has a question or thought or concern or anything? Or an EXP question? I don't know, all you people that are new. How do I do this? Where do I find that? I mean, I don't know. Anything we can do to help, you know? Brad, did you finish? Is Fast Cap over? Did that just end?
It finishes this Friday.
This Friday. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Has it been good for you? I'm curious. Just, you know?
Yeah, I think there's some of it that's, if I'm being honest, it's kind of fill, some of it is just kind of filler. But by and large, I mean, I can't help but think if they did one or two really long days and just they could do it all in that period of time. But
right.
Who am I to suggest those things?
Right.
Has anybody else had any trouble getting into EXP University, or am I the only one in the world who has trouble?
I haven't tried lately.
I have not.
Yesterday,
You're getting in on
yesterday-
the wrong hours, Andy. You trying to get in when they're closed.
I can't get in at
yesterday I had
all.
a couple.
No, I'm kidding.
Mine
I
says
try-
404 error. It won't even go directly to it.
I got
Oh,
that a couple times yesterday myself.
Let me
so-
tell you why you're getting it now, is because I've been in contact back and forth with EXP Tech for the last, I don't know, 5-6 days. And basically they're telling me that they were not aware that there was a glitch in the Okta system that connects the EXP University together. And so basically, I uncovered it for them. And so now they are revamping the entire system. So they're saying that it's probably going to be glitchy for a few days for everybody. and they're now using me as a guinea pig. So they want me to do videos on logging into the dang thing. Where I can't get into it, then they want me to do videos on trying to get in through it incognito stuff. And so anyway, they're using me as one of their tech wizards.
In your
So
spare time.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, you should get a separate check for that, Andy.
I am going to ask for that. Yes.
Andy, Tim said you don't need to be on there because he said you knew everything already.
Oh my God. This has been a nightmare. And all I was trying to do is get into Fast Attract. I just wanted to enroll. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And I couldn't get in there. And it will not let me connect at all through EXP University. As a matter of fact, my Okta probably looks different from yours now because half of my apps are gone away and they're rewriting the apps. So yeah, fun times.
Is it just is it the EXP University, just the website, expuniversity.com website? No.
Yeah, I can't get in there at all. Like I can't go even in an incognito window. I cannot go to exp.university. I can't. Yeah, that I can't. That's what I get.
Because I was just hold on a minute. That's the page I logged into. Maybe I got into, let's see, I just clicked right here and it takes me to that.
Yeah.
And then like for Fast Attract, like I just went here under training paths, attractors. There's Fast Attract.
Yeah, I
What
can't get
is
in.
Fast Attract?
Starts today. Kind of like Fast Cap for production.
Uh-huh.
It's a program designed for people who want to attract. They're doing
Cool.
the first one is today. It's full, but there is a waiting list to get on the next ones. This is kind of their first run at it. So, but you can sign
Very
up.
neat.
The next Fast Cap is coming up here July 9th.
I'm actually doing the evening one right now.
Are you? Okay. So that one's going on. So I'm gonna get people going on that one for sure. Coming up here in a few weeks.
This is Yvette. I finished this Spanish Fast Cap
Oh, nice.
and I
Nice.
really enjoyed it.
That's
Good.
so good. Brad, I mean, if this is the last week, have you set appointments through that process?
Not enough. So that's my downfall, I think. I've had a bunch of extenuating circumstances, but I'm doing an open house Saturday. Working on a couple of potential listings. So I've got some.
That's awesome.
I'll dare to say irons in the fire.
That came out of the things that you were doing through FastCap?
Yes.
Fantastic. I mean, that class is only 6 weeks long, to be able to come out and have potential couple of listings and, another deal you mentioned is great, I think.
I think the
They-
thing that it does is it just tells you how to do it. What, okay, I mean, probates, I would have never thought about in a million years on my own. Oh, I think that's a market. I think those ideas are really good and everybody's going to take it in their own direction,
Did they talk about that in FastCap as one of the,
Well, yeah, early on, they want you to kind of put together a roadmap and your own unique value proposition. What are you going to do that's different than everybody else and so forth? So, yeah,
nice.
it's all good.
It's all great.
And then I
So you-
met Tim. That was even better.
That's the best.
Don't stroke me, Brad.
That's not a lot to brag about. I met him too, and I don't
That's
know.
right.
Yeah. Well,
By the way,
I met
while
him
we're on
too, and I'm on your camp, Brad. He's a good
okay.
one to know, for sure.
By the way, while we're on the phone, they got my EXP University working. So, hallelujah.
All
Ah.
right.
Good.
Yes.
So, talking about these listings, really quick. And just different things. And to Jeff's point about being on the Tuesday training. So I'm on this kick. I want to know if anyone's done this kick with this idea, I should say, in Suno, the AI app Suno. So one of the things that I think that going into a listing appointment, what if you created a song with that app about your potential house that you're getting ready to meet with and list? Right? You have the seller's name in there. You got the address of the property, some of the features about the house. You can find it, on past listings that where it sold before type thing. So you just have ChatGPT write a song like with all that data and say, hey, I want the seller's name at the beginning of the song. I want the address at the beginning of the song. And then, it's a great house in this neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. And just have it write the words to us, create a song for you. And then you just plug that into Suno, tell it what kind of genre of music you want it to be, and voila, like it's created. And imagine going into a listing appointment and before, as you sit down at the kitchen table, why are you laughing, Tim?
Because Andy's chomping at the bit to play his for you. He does this all the time.
Okay, all right,
No, I don't-
Andy, we're gonna let you demonstrate it.
No,
But
no,
then
I
you
don't.
go into,
No,
go in before you. Hang on a minute, just a second. I want to finish my thought before you keep chomping. But go in before you go to your listing appointment, or while you're there. Hey, Mr. Miss Seller, before I talk about, all the things about your house and all, I just want to share with you a song that I created about your house. And you play the song about it, and we'll let Andy demonstrate his. I mean, imagine what a seller, like you probably don't even have to really interview for it at that point, because who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. So Andy, demonstrate one of your.
Well, I don't have one ready to demonstrate, but what I was going to tell you is that I did that 100%. What I did was actually I was getting ready to go on a listing for a $650,000 house out in the country. So I don't know anything about selling houses out in the country. I live on the beach. So what I did was I pulled that up and I pulled up the old listing. I put it all into ChatGPT, told it to write me a song.
Yeah.
I put it to I knew these were country people, so I put it to country music and did it in the style of like George Strait or whatever. And then I actually got the song and I texted it to them before I actually got the listing appointment. And I said, just so you know, I wrote a custom song. Now they're elder people and they thought I was the one singing the song.
Oh, funny.
They called me
Got
and
my
they were
band
like,
together.
this is remarkable. I can't believe you did this. This is unbelievable. This sounds like a hit record. And I was like, yeah, that kind of thing. But it got me in the door 100%. I have that listing. I got the listing. Now it's not selling because nothing's selling. But I mean, but the point is that it got me in the door. And, and then we had a conversation and they were wanting to list the house for 700 grand. I got them to get a professional appraisal, and because they trusted me and I had already sent them all this material before I even went out there, it made the conversation so much easier. It was like, it was a lay
Well, I
down.
like that better, even sending it as part of a pre-listing, package ahead of time. But is anybody doing that? Is anyone else doing that? Because I think, like you just said, Andy, it makes that conversation so much easier. Like you've blown them away before they ever even met you.
Yep, 100%.
What all did you put in the song? I mean, that sounds like such a cool idea.
Yeah, I basically took the old listing that they had on the MLS. So I looked it up to see if that property had ever been listed, and it had. And so then I looked at the description and I knew that there had been some changes because I had talked to them and I said, I'm going to get you a CMA ready before I actually come out and talk. And they kept hem-hawing about getting in front of letting me come out to talk to them. They kept saying, oh, well, they had this come up, or they had that come up, or it's raining and we don't want you to come to the house when it's raining. I'm like, oh, are we going to be sitting outside? That kind of thing. So anyway, the point was is I took that listing agreement and I put in the changes that I knew they had done. Like they told me the HVAC was brand new, it had brand new appliances. So I put all that in the description and got
Oh, very
ChatGPT to write
cool.
me the song. And so then ChatGPT writes the song. You tell it what style and who to do and whatever. Now I don't use the free version of Suno. I use a paid version because I use it so much with my YouTube channel. Because I write custom songs for every YouTube video that we do instead of just using something that's going to be copyrighted or I might get in trouble for. I have AI create me a whole new song. So
That is
in
so cool.
yeah, so in
Um,
doing that.
is Suno just an app that you put on your computer, or where
Yeah,
do
it's
you get the
just it's
Suno?
Yep.
Suno.com. It's an AI program and
Uh-huh.
you can make instrumentals there, you can do it with words, you can do whatever. I mean, if you don't have ChatGPT write you a song, you can literally go in and say, "Write me a song in a Taylor Swift theme about people coming to the beach and why they should use me as their real estate agent," and then basically tell it all about you and
Oh, I love that.
it'll write you a song.
And these are on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I've got just
Okay, I
about
need to
every
go look at
single
that.
yeah, every single video we have is I've done by Suno. I don't use anything else, but it's hold on, I'll get you the channel link.
So Andy, are you talking on your video and that's music's playing in the background? I haven't seen since you started using Suno. I didn't know you were doing that on YouTube. I haven't probably been to your YouTube since that point. So are you talking still or are you just letting the song tell the story?
I'm doing a little bit of both because like on some of them, so let's see, like hold on, I'm gonna mute you for a second because this thing's gonna blast when I pull it.
I think anything to make yourself stand out.
That's right. That's what made me think about
Anything to
that
set
because
yourself apart.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so when I'm editing my videos, so what I have now is like I'll have I might have a series of pictures or drone shots or whatever coming into a neighborhood because you know as we've said before, I don't just do the video on the property itself. We'll tell what it's like to live in the neighborhood or what it's like to live at the beach. So I want to like out into the kitchen, pan into the living room, pan into the bathroom, in the master bathroom or whatever. And then I'll take those shots, put them together at the first of the video and play the theme song that I've written about, that I've had Suno write about that house. And then I'll have that video, that theme song playing. And then if she's doing a walkthrough or I'm doing a walkthrough of the house, as we're walking through the house, talking about the house, I'll have that custom song playing in the background. And so it's, you
I
know,
love
it's
it.
added a little bit of flair to it.
I love
Very
it.
cool, Andy.
Thank you.
So good.
I'm sitting here thinking as y'all talking about that, what would be an easy way to, instead of calling expireds or mailing to expireds, you know, you could do that fairly easily create a song for every expired that you want to go after. And what medium would be best to get it to the seller as a
Yeah.
door opener? I'm thinking, you know, burn it to a CD. That's kind of old fashioned. But you know what? Any ideas on
Can
that?
you grab a link and just text it to them? Like obviously
Yeah.
their contact
If you have a
info,
phone number, yeah, but
yeah.
you know, MLS data is not going to have phone number. I guess you could look it up through
Forewarn.
Forewarn.
You know what you
Well,
could
if
do is in
they're
case
expired, wouldn't it show? Well, never mind. I was thinking for sale by owner, but yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
that too. That would work.
Dude,
I mean,
yeah.
you
Does
know what you,
anybody,
'Cause then you'd have the phone number.
right.
use skip tracing to find the phone number?
I use a system called Mojo every day that's also a dialer that I've been using for years that goes out and finds, of course, it's a subscription service, but they go out and they pull up all the canceleds and expireds for me and pair up the data. Sometimes it's good data, sometimes it's bad. With the ones I can't find, I'll go cross-reference those on Forewarn. They also give me the for sale by owners. But it's amazing that I'll call these people just on the phone and some of them won't answer, but then I'll hang up and I'll text them. And I'd say 3/4 of them will respond more to a text than they will a phone call. So I think, Tim, to answer your question, I'd say texting that, you'd get a pretty good response. And just I initially start that, say, hey, I apologize if I have the wrong number. Texting you about your property over here on Baker Street. Check out the video below and let me know if you're looking for a different solution. And then, bam, go into your video.
I like it.
It's good.
I was going to say one more added flair to the listing presentation before you go out there is to not only have a song, but you could create an entire video about the listing before you even go there. Like if you had pictures from a previous listing, and you could create a web page on its own through KV Core, so you can create a landing page and have that video playing on that landing page so that you could send them a link. And when they pull it up, they'll go, oh my God, he's already created a website for our listing. Holy cow. And I mean, and so you send that to them and it has all their information. I mean, you know, how cool would that be before, and they look at that and go, we hadn't even given him a listing yet, but he's created a web page for our listing.
And to pull this full circle, not to beat a dead horse on probate again, but you could create a reel of multiple properties you've sold in probate with all those different videos of probate houses you've sold. Send that to the attorneys.
That's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
25% referral fee in my market, Michael.
Wait a minute, your market is my market.
I mean, our market. So sorry.
I don't know if it'd be helpful for everybody. I mean, Andy, and we don't have to do this. Would you be able to do just a quick, just pull something and share your screen, pull something off the MLS, take the property description, put it in ChatGPT, and go to Suno and just do one? I know you can do it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Just a simple one. Could you just demonstrate for everybody exactly just the process of it?
Yeah, let me pull up a listing. Let's see.
Excuse me a minute, guys.
Yeah, just share your
While he
screen.
does that, I actually have 2 quick questions.
Okay.
Is anybody on this call or know anybody in the Freedom Team that is in South Carolina?
Suzanne, put your email in there and I'll send you over. We got about 20 to 30 agents there. I just downloaded it. Put your email in
Oh,
there.
you're awesome. Thank you.
You bet. I'll email it to you.
And then my other question, I was always taught to, when you're doing CMAs, you're looking at, you know, a small area and you're looking at homes within like 500 square feet or whatever. Well, I listened to a video for Fast Cap. They were, you know, if you had questions on CMAs, and they were saying basically like the age of the house is more important than anything else. But to me, if it's in a subdivision, it should be somewhat, you know, the same age.
So what's your question?
What do you focus on, you know, when you're doing that CMA? I mean, like I said, I always had looked at the square footage and, you know, the location. I would do it small, and then, you know, okay, then you start looking at the number of bedrooms and, you know, that kind of thing. But they were making it like the whole big deal was the age of the home, and I'm like, that, I don't know, it just wasn't the way I was taught.
I don't look so much the age of the home personally, because it could be 40 years old, but they just completely remodeled the whole thing. Right. You know, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's okay. But then I'll just go with the way I was trained versus
especially if you've got
in
a
that
whole
video.
neighborhood that's butting up to a, you know, cornfield that was developed recently. It might be the same square footage, but it's 0 years old versus 40 years old. I'm going to stick to the confines of that one subdivision.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's, I always try to stay in the same subdivision if I can. But yeah, okay. That answers my question. Thank you, guys.
Sure.
Well, and then just to take that one step further, if there's not enough in the subdivision, then I widen it to the elementary school district. And then
Okay.
if I'm looking that way, through the same elementary school, because that's a little narrower than a high school, then then I might, as one of the criterias of one of the houses I might use as a comp, I probably would look at age as well as
Okay.
one of the criteria, right? If I broadened it that far, but
That
because
makes
not all
sense.
the time are there not all the time are there enough homes that have sold for good
Oh,
comps in a
definitely.
subdivision, if it's not a
Well,
big
thank you.
subdivision. Yeah.
I was just curious because it went against everything I had been taught.
I have a question about making those videos using old MLS listing photos. I was under the impression we couldn't just pull those older photos and use them, that they belong to whoever, the agent that published them the first time, or the photographer.
So we're not using the pictures of those videos. If you're talking about creating a song, we're not taking the pictures from the listing.
She's talking about doing a video, but I guess my thought is, like, again, you're just sending this to the customer. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't something you're posting on social media and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, send it to the client.
It's just a private.
Yeah.
video,
Yeah. So when I do it and send it to the owner, I'm just using the old photos, but then of course I'm going to get new fresh photos whenever I redo another video. So that's just something to send to them. But yeah, so Jeff, if you want me to share my screen, I can try to do this kind of rudimentary.
Are you let's see.
I've sent it.
Can you share your screen? Oh, I can't do it. Tim has to do it. Tim's the host, I think. Tim, can you make him a co-host?
Did you get the approval, Andy?
I think so.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So all I do is come in here to the listing, and then I make sure that, that it's a good listing description in the first place. This is a listing Aileen and I have on the beach. So then I go into ChatGPT and I have a prompt here that says, I need you to write a song in the style of Morgan Wallen. The song should celebrate the charm, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it gives a specific prompt. And then I say, here's the description of the house. So I can copy that. I can come into Chat GPT, make a new chat, because if you don't, it's going to think about the last prompt that you gave it. So you want to give it a whole new chat.
Okay.
Then I come back into the listing and I will pull this description of the listing agreement right here and just cut out all that. And I will come back in the chat and paste that, and then I usually put the directions in too, just because, and you'll hear why in just a second. But anyway, I paste it in there and then I just hit go, and Chat GPT thinks for a second. And it says, here's your Morgan Wallen song. And it gives it to you. And then once it's done,
I've been surprised how good these songs sound.
They're amazing.
They're so good.
It gives it a name too. Emerald Sky. That's the name of the song.
I mean, when you actually do the song in Suno and you hear it, I'm like, wow, okay, I could listen to the whole album of this. Like,
they sound professionally recorded.
Telling you, the music industry is shaking its boots right now with all this stuff going on.
So then I'll come in here and I'll just pull the entire song. I'll copy this just like so. Whoops, I didn't copy it all. Copy this just like this. Just start right there at the verse. And then I'll go into Suno. I put in the lyrics.
And show, but do you go right in here on Suno? Where do you click to do it? You go to custom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now again, I'm on the paid version.
Right.
You can do this for free. It'll create like maybe 10 songs a day for you for free.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't get as detailed, and you can't really tell it different styles. Like I can tell it who to sing this like,
Right.
But then I'll just put like maybe pop, country, we'll just stick with that for now. Pop, country, and then you can come down here and actually take the title to the song. So it's Emerald Sky. Copy that, go back to Suno, and then I put in song title right there, and then I just hit create. And it takes about, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Not long.
It doesn't take long at all. And it'll give you a downloadable version. It gives you 2 different versions. And then I just always play which
Share
one.
your sound, Andy. Make sure your sound is ready to share. Did you do that?
Yeah. Let's
on
see
Zoom,
if let's see, audio.
You go down to Zoom under more, and it'll give you the option to share sound.
It says
Okay.
stereo.
Share computer sound.
There you
Okay.
go.
Stereo. Well, you just taught me something I did not know.
I have never had to do that, and I'm wondering why people do that. And I'm looking, I don't have that option under more either. And no one's ever complained about my audio.
Really? I've had some where the sound, it cuts in and out a lot. I've been on Zooms where you can barely hear it. It's just, I don't know. And they're not sharing their sound. It's like coming through the speakers on their computer into their microphone. It's a different, I don't know. I always do that on my webinars, everything I do.
Well, it's not letting me do it.
Okay.
So let's just
No
see if
worries.
you
Go
can-
ahead. We'll see how we do.
I've got a pretty good microphone, so let's just see if you can hear it. So
Yeah. Is it playing? Because see, we don't hear anything.
Hold on, 61, sun sinking low. Crack the window, feel that salt breeze blow. 4th floor up in a place.
can y'all hear it?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
Rewind
We
it.
hear the singing, but we don't hear the music. It's just,
Really?
Oh yeah, we don't hear any instruments.
yeah.
Well, that's just crazy.
It's that share computer sound. That's what's doing it.
Well, I can't figure out how to get that done. Let's see.
That's okay. Can you paste it and put it in the link? Put the link in the chat, and I'll play it on mine.
Yeah. I don't understand. Cancel. It's telling me I had to enter in some password to get into Zoom, and I put in my password to get into Zoom, and it tells me it's incorrect. So, which is crazy because I know good and well it's not incorrect. Okay, so here's what I'll do is I'll download it and then just put it in the chat. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Download MP3. Yeah. So this is one version of it. You want me to put both versions in there, Jeff, or just one?
Oh, just one of them. Doesn't matter. Just so
Okay.
people could hear it for a minute.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna stop the share so I can get this done.
And that's when you can share your computer sound, Tim, is when you're sharing your screen. It doesn't show up in the more until you go to share your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Share your screen, then it'll show up under the more.
Okay. There's the
Okay.
MP3 in the chat.
There's that. So let me see if that works. So if I share my screen, let's see here. Okay, now I gotta share sound. We go to the chat, hit this. Oh gosh. Media player, okay. See if you guys hear it. You hear it?
Yep.
Pulled on low, 61, sun sinking low. Crack the window, feel that salt breeze blow. 4th floor up in a place called home. Emerald skies where the good times grow. 1 bed, 1 bath, but it sleeps all 6. Bunk beds in the hall, couch does a trick. Flip-flops by the door, sand on the floor. Ain't nothing fancy, but it's so much more. It's a Gulf Coast getaway, ocean out the window. Sugar white beaches and a laid-back tempo. Sunrise sitting on a balcony rail. Cracking cold ones while the seabirds sail. Could rent it out or make it mine to stay right next to tides and Coastal Cafe. She ain't big, but man, she's just right. Feels like heaven in emerald sky.
That's awesome.
Good.
Jeff, are you going to faster track? Is it starting now?
I'm not. No.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna head out.
All right. Well, anyway.
That's so good. I
was
love
good
that.
stuff. Andy
Yeah.
got the band together and put
Let's
that.
go, Andy.
Yeah, right. We can
I'll
create
buy
a
it.
whole album.
But it can be that simple. I mean, and just so you guys know, like, so what, Nick Krim went over that. He first introduced that to us back, probably 4 or 5 months ago in his AI training. So again, just for those of you who've been around a while, the importance of coming on Tuesdays, because this is nothing, it's, and watching those trainings when you miss them, because there's just great stuff there, so.
Yeah, like
All
I
right.
said, I started using it for everything, so using it for every single video we put on our YouTube channel, just so I don't get copyright infringement on any of the songs I use.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Can you put that like on Facebook or whatever to advertise a new listing? Or I don't know if it would support something like, that big or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you can make that. I mean, it's just a small MP3 file, so I mean, you could make a video with that really easily. Like an iMovie or something, and make a montage, especially if you had your own pictures.
You got all your own
wouldn't wanna get-
pictures, like for the listing. You can certainly, like, even like CapCut or iMovie or something, and just to put the pictures with just the address at the top or something, and put that music behind it, and then post that video on social media for sure.
Yep.
Cool. Is there a place to like learn CapCut or whatever to, like where they maybe go step by step and explain things? I am
Yeah.
very technically challenged, but I
Yeah.
know I need to step up.
Yes, YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all you got to do is look for it on YouTube.
Yeah, just type in CapCut training. I need help with CapCut. Whatever, something like that, right, Andy? In YouTube.
Okay.
That's it.
And there'll be some and once you do a few of them, Suzanne, it's just because I didn't know it 6 months ago, and
Okay.
and once I did it, the first couple of videos, it took a while, but then once I got it, okay, now I can go in there and do one in 10 minutes. I'm
And
done.
where do you put these videos, Jeff? Is that just on YouTube or?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
where
Yeah,
else?
you could. Well, you could do them anywhere you want to post them. Really, they're you could upload your videos
Mhm.
and you can upload them into Facebook, LinkedIn, all the different kinds of places. In YouTube for sure.
Okay.
Places. But again, even to send out to clients, prospective clients, different things you can do like that. So anyway, cool.
Very cool.
So, all right, guys, we recorded this. This will be, we'll post this here later today as well. Okay. So if you want to go back and watch any of this stuff, but great to see you guys. Have a great day. If we can help at
Is
all.
the probate one from yesterday on
It
there?
will be. It'll be up in the next couple hours. Yeah, it's not quite done yet,
Perfect.
but it'll be ready to go. Yep. So just watch for that one.
Well,
Really good.
thank you
Okay?
so much.
All right. We'll see you guys. Have a good day. What's that? Somebody, Sherry, you got a question? I see you talking. Oh, okay.
No,
You're
I
talking on the phone. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.